Hello everyone, welcome to today's vlog. My name is Kristen. Today I'm going to be talking about my January report. This is kind of where I compile all my favorites from the month that I can talk about that are not necessarily a part of the Disney space. Sometimes it will come over as well just because Disney is also one of my favorite things, but primarily I just want a space to talk about things separate from that. So that's what this is. And I will, at the end of this video, link the playlist to my other past reports that I have posted thus far. Here we are at the end of January. Today I'm multitasking. I'm going to film while I do my makeup. Evelyn is asleep and I have a hair appointment that I need to pack up and head that way as soon as she wakes up. So we're gonna make the most of our time and film this while getting ready. So here we go. I do wanna mention I did switch up some of the words as far as the acronym for report. This month's report is researching, enjoying, packing, obsessing, reflecting, and trying. R is standing for researching, and really this one is kind of a stretch, but I haven't been reading a lot, which is normally what I use for R, and I've been researching a lot in my spare time just how to make the vlogs even better than they are. I use Final Cut Pro, have been taking the time to look up more about color grading, different ways of editing the videos as far as transitions and really using specific settings in Final Cut Pro that I don't remember from high school or that have been added. I'm really looking forward to this next vlog series where I can use some of the things that I've looked up and make them that much better. So really just like doing homework, kind of. That's a subject that I enjoy, so I don't mind spending the time looking into all of that and playing around and watching tutorials and things like that. That has been fun for me to research. For E this month, I'm talking about what I've been enjoying. If you didn't know, we had a giant ice storm here in Middle Tennessee, at least. I am so grateful it's not lost on me that we never lost power. I had just like been praying constantly for that not to happen because it was like a really big anxious worry and fear of mine leading up to the storm, just with having a baby and just not knowing what to do in that situation. So I'm very grateful we didn't lose power. We stayed comfy, cozy inside. One thing that I enjoyed wearing, I'll insert a picture that I sent to my sister if I can find it. My dad got us all for Christmas one year these like essentially a Barefoot Dreams feeling Snuggie, and it's from the brand Big Blanket Co. My dad picked them out himself. I've never asked for one of these ever, and I've never worn it until this big ice storm. And when I tell you that I wore it for 48 hours straight. Well, I wore it for 48 hours and then would change into my pajamas, and then the next day would put like comfies on and then wear the Snuggie thing again. That's exactly what I was doing. My mom apparently wears hers all the time, which is so funny. But what I really like about it that makes it unique is that it also has like an eye mask built into the hood. And then it also has thumb holes so you can like really get it down on your hands. Anyway, I'll link them below. Highly recommend. It's very niche. If you like comfy, cozy, like blankets, things like that, you have to have one of these. For P, we're talking about packing. We have taken quite a few trips just in the last couple of months. I have been doing a lot of packing and unpacking. With that in mind, I've thought of 3 specific things that I have been enjoying packing no matter where the trip is. No matter really where I'm going, you can pack these things for any amount of time or any destination, and they're things that you might not necessarily think of to pack. The first one is a robe. It's just kind of nice to put on while you're getting ready so you don't have to immediately change into whatever outfit right away if you have plenty of time before you need to get dressed. It's just a nice touch of comfort without having to put your pajamas on. I find that I end up using it basically daily, and it keeps you warm in the mornings when you're getting ready, which is nice. If you don't pack with a robe, my recommendation would be to invest in a Lake brand one that's like, it's very soft, like bamboo modal fabric feeling, very cooling, and it's thin. It's not chunky and heavy like Barefoot Dreams would be, so it won't take up much space in your bag. It's just kind of a nice thin layer to wear in the mornings while you're getting ready or before you need to get changed. The other thing I would recommend packing is electrolytes. I mean, traveling is hard on your body and can be stressful. Just getting that little extra bit of hydration in there and vitamins, that's always helpful. And to just drink some first thing when you wake up or when you get back to wherever you're staying in the evening, game changer. And if you're out drinking, it's just nice to have as well. Okay, and lastly is a mini lint roller. I have found myself on travel day, or maybe if I'm wearing a comfier outfit, like leggings or something like that, I just wish I had a lint roller on me sometimes. Whether I put something that got some fuzz on it in my bag or suitcase that transferred, or have some stray dog hairs on it, or what have you. It is just really nice to have. I just leave mine in my suitcase. I actually just had to buy a new one to refill, but just leaving it in there, just knowing it's always going to be in there, is kind of a nice to have. And also, if somebody else is traveling with you and needs one, you're prepared. You just can't go wrong with that. Something I've been obsessing over this month, I've used them before. I'm going to do a little bit of backstory here. Mandelic acid works really well on my skin. It is actually an acid that's used to treat staph infections. And so if you found that you continuously break out and don't have success using glycolic or salicylic or lactic, or just a combination of those to treat your acne or breakouts, this is a really good acid to try. Again, it's called mandelic acid. It's safe to use when you're pregnant, so that's a huge win. I have found these pads that are salicylic and mandelic acid. I think they're like $20, and this comes with, there it is, 100 pads. So salicylic and mandelic, and I like to use them when I get my Botox done. I try and do that every 3 months if I can. And to just get longevity out of that, I like to use my highest grade skincare to just really pack the punch on my skin and make it look the best the longest and just really stretch out my value. I enjoy using those pads. You can tell my skin before I put makeup on is purging a little bit. Once that stops, it will look so much better. I just enjoy these pads before like a big event, or when you know you have to take a lot of pictures. Just using these a couple times a week. I mean, I use them about every other night. On the other evenings, I will use my retinol. They are a game changer for fine lines and just overall texture of my skin. I can really tell a difference when I put my makeup on, and hopefully you'll be able to see too in the vlogs. My vlogging style is pretty casual, so sometimes it just gets really up close and personal in my face. When I was editing some of my videos from our last Disney trip, I was like, whoa, my texture is so bad. Whoa, my wrinkles are so bad. And that's just me, because I like looking at and doing my makeup, skincare and stuff like that. So I pay attention to those little things. So maybe you didn't. And if you didn't, bless you. For the last R, we're talking about reflecting. What I've been reflecting on is just, it's almost like a practice. I'm trying to be intentionally more grateful. I think after the craziness of this storm specifically, and just my anxiety being at a high this month, I have been trying to practice more gratefulness. Sometimes at night, I just have to either write down or just think in my mind and tell myself, like, even the teeniest of tiniest of things, just making a list of all the things that you are grateful for really helps, at least me, calm my mind and just kind of puts me in check. And I stop thinking about whatever that thing is that's causing you anxiety. Ooh, this bronzer was a choice today. And it's always good to just start the year being more grateful, right? I think that's a good intention to have going forward into your year. Making it a practice that turns into a habit for the rest of the year is good. That's something that I'm not a professional at, will struggle with, continue to struggle with. My anxiety still gets the best of me sometimes, and then it will melt away some of your anxiety. T is trying. Now, I'm putting a big asterisk by this one because I failed this month. My best friend Hannah Grace and I are trying to do a girls' date at least every month of the year. Now, we were supposed to get dinner this past Tuesday, and the weather was still pretty sketchy, and I did not feel comfortable being out in the evening when it was like 2 degrees and it's still pretty icy out. So I asked if we could reschedule, and the first date we can do it is in February. So I think we'll probably double up in February and maybe get back on track. I just struggle with being intentional in my friendships, and I think that has also played a part in my anxiety, is just not having that girl time. And it is so important and just so soul-filling, and I just miss doing that, especially with like not working or being around other people other than just like my immediate family. It's nice to spend time with girlfriends. So I need to get back into the habit of that. So we are trying to have a monthly girls' date. Sometimes our husbands will come with us because they are friends as well, which is so nice. But yeah, we have a couple ideas. I'm just really looking forward to just continuing to cultivate that friendship, since we've known each other since college and have been through a lot of seasons of life together. Just still cherishing it and just pouring into each other is just so, so nice. That is my final makeup look for today. Evelyn is still asleep, so I'm going to finish trying to get some outfits and packing put together, because we fly out in a couple of days for Disney with Cameron's mom for 6 days, and the weather is looking cold. Yeah, not ideal. But on the bright side, I don't have to touch up my makeup as much because I'm not just like profusely sweating. Don't have to take breaks. Don't have to find like shade or sit somewhere indoors to even just think for a second. I have been like a better version of myself when it's colder rather than being sweltering hot. So that is a plus. Don't have to worry about bringing a fan, and I don't think it's supposed to rain. I'm still going to bring ponchos and the stroller poncho, because those would be the famous last words. Yeah, we're very excited. I'm looking forward to this trip. This is the last trip using our annual passes, and we have been 5 times with our annual passes this year. Another reason to be grateful. I might do a separate video on that and just like maybe crunch some numbers, talk about, you know, was it worth it, was it not, things like that. If anybody is interested, let me know in the comments. That'll be a really sweet and special trip. So I kind of just like feel better when I try on outfits when I have some makeup on. So that's what I'm going to go do. Thank you so much for watching today's January report. I cannot believe it's about to be February. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.